Welcome to today's episode of East to West, where we dive into the complex relationship between energy and global geopolitics. In this episode, we're exploring how Israel's shift from an energy importer to a natural gas exporter is reshaping the Middle East power dynamics, bolstering the country's national security, and offering new pathways for diplomacy and economic stability in the region. Our guest today is Amir Foster, the executive director for the Israeli Natural Gas Association. Amir spearheads Israel's energy strategy, representing multinational giants and local stakeholders. His work sits at the nexus of national security, regional diplomacy, and economic resilience, a trifecta critical to understanding Israel's current and future role in the region. From strengthening deterrence against Hamas and Hezbollah to forming strategic partnerships with Egypt, Jordan, Azerbaijan, and the Gulf states, Israel's energy transition is transforming both its regional relationships and its role on the global stage. We'll also discuss how Israel's gas revenues are being used to improve daily life for its citizens, fund crucial infrastructure, and even tackle environmental challenges. And with the ongoing energy crisis in Europe, we'll explore Israel's growing importance as an alternative energy supplier, especially as Europe pivots away from Russian gas. Amir Foster, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
So to start, can you tell us about Israel's journey from being an energy importer to becoming a significant natural gas exporter? How did the discovery of the Leviathan and Tamar fields really change the country's energy landscape?
Okay, so actually the first discovery of natural gas was in 1999, but it was quite small discovery, not far from the shore near Ashkelon. The big change was in 2009 and 2010, that in 2 years we found about 1,000 BCM of natural gas. BCM, it's billion cubic meter. It's a way to
measure.
To measure,
yeah,
the quantity. But today Israel consume in equivalent measurement 30 BCM of gas. This is all the energy we use, include oil, coal, etc. Mm-hmm. Natural gas, we use 13. So we found in 2 years 1,000. So it much more than...
So much more than we actually need.
Yeah, in those days we used 5.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot. So for the development of those assets, we need a market. But the Israeli market was too small for all that development of all the infrastructure we need for use this gas.
So who did Israel turn to?
Israel turned to the regional countries to see what they need, okay? Sometimes people think that if you have resources of hydrocarbons, oil or gas in the ground, this is energy security, but it's not. It's good that you have that, but energy security is infrastructure that can take molecule of energy from the ground to the client, to the power generation facility. So if we want a lot of resilience in the infrastructure, and we need that resilience, especially here in Israel, because in the beginning of the war, one of the gas fields was shut down because the platform is 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers from the Gaza.
Right.
So we didn't feel any blackouts or things like that because we had a lot of resilience. And we made this resilience with the market we found in Jordan, in Egypt. So I think it's very interesting to look about the energy situation here in Israel and the region, because it's actually pure win-win situation. It's not that one side is much more strong than the other, or like we saw in Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Right, it's like a common benefiting relationship. So I actually want to dive into that. Israel, as you mentioned, is now a key gas exporter to Egypt and Jordan. How have these energy partnerships helped de-escalate regional tensions and actually promote stability in the region?
Okay, so because, like I said, there is pure win-win situation, and all these gas contracts are not for 1 to 3 years, are for 15 years, 20 years. So actually Israel, Jordan, Egypt build a lot of their energy strategy
based on Israel.
Based on this alliance, energy alliance. Okay, so each component here is critical for the regional energy security. I believe that kind of alliance like that, it's something that make everything much more moderate, because energy is like the base of the engine of the modern country. So it's important.
And from what I understand now, Egypt now gets 15% of its electricity from Israeli gas, correct?
So about 15% of the natural gas, and natural gas is a major component in Egypt for electricity. So yes, it's important role.
Yeah. And for Jordan and Egypt, which have, obviously huge populations, they've actually been able to avoid power outages and reduce electricity costs significantly because of this Israeli gas. Can you tell me a little bit about how that's changed the life for their civilians, both in Egypt and in Jordan?
If the region needed to import energy from other places, it could make the energy bill even twice higher than today. So, because naturally when you are dealing with energy in the region and not need to bring energy from 2,000, 3,000 kilometers or more, so energy costs are much lower and very secure in a manner of supply.
Right. It's, as you said, they're able to secure an energy deal for not just 2-3 years. It's looking forward 15 years.
And pipelines are all connected between the region. Like, pipelines start here and go through Jordan to Egypt, or directly to Egypt, onshore, offshore, etc. So the region will have more infrastructure. Infrastructure is the key. So more stabilized region, I believe we will have. So I think we're not in the end of these relations. It's just the beginning. Yeah.
So I want to move on to Israel's role in countering Iranian influence, and how does its gas collaboration with countries like Azerbaijan and the Gulf states serve as a sort of counterbalance to Iran's power in the Middle East?
I think that the base for this kind of collaboration, it needs to be pure economic and reasonable sense from investment point of view and economic point of view. East Mediterranean region, it's becoming like a hotspot on the investment map of companies in the world. For years, companies didn't want to come to Israel for many reasons. But one of the significant reasons was that we didn't have stability in our regulation. In the beginning of the gas revolution, we had a lot of fiscal changing what we can do with exports, yes or no, things like that. So companies didn't had the confidence that if they will come and drill, and all the drills in Israel are deep water drilling.
So it's offshore.
It's offshore, but deep water, it's like the high end of the industry. So one exploration drilling can cost $100 million. Just,
just for the exploration drill itself.
Just exploration. And if you have geological success of 25%, it's very good.
But it's a huge investment to make in a country where there wasn't necessarily much regulation.
You pay $100 million. So if you don't know how to monetize that, and you need to monetize that a lot with export because local market is small. So with a lot of changing on this regulation, so companies didn't want to come. Then companies sometimes afraid to come because it's Mediterranean. We can walk with the neighbors. We can't walk with the neighbors. Mm-hmm. But then when we shift from talking about cooperation to really cooperate with the neighbors and selling gas and all that, so companies understand that they actually can monetize natural gas if they will find it. So just before the war, we saw a lot of companies that wanted to come to Israel and take, actually won on the bid one we had in Israel. Companies like BP, companies like ENI, companies like Sokar from Azerbaijan, companies from the Gulf, okay? So, and then everybody freeze a bit.
After October 7th,
yeah,
right.
Because of the war.
Yeah.
But they just freeze it. They didn't went back from this kind of involvement with our market. Mm-hmm. So I believe they all will come when it will be a little bit more quiet. We saw Sokar from Azerbaijan that already make some significant moves here in Israel, like they bought a share of Tamar gas field through one of the companies that hold. And it's very interesting. So I think that what we see here with the companies from Azerbaijan and from the Gulf, it's that we become more, it's becoming more natural for them to cooperate with us. Mm-hmm. Like everybody understand
that Israel is now on the map of this natural gas.
Yeah, and we are legit country to be.
I'm sure that the potential of a peace deal with Saudi Arabia, which the Trump administration has been pushing for so long, and Israel, of course, would love to have, would significantly open the doors for Israel's natural gas market, and specifically when it comes to that regional stability that you've been talking about.
Yeah, and you know, I'm also involved with the International Gas Union. It's like a union of companies and from all over the world, mm-hmm. about 90 countries. I'm the chair of the strategy committee of the IGU. So I see a lot of people from all over. And I think that what we are seeing with Saudi, I think the potential for involvement with more countries from that region and our region, EastMed, the potential is huge.
And not just in the region, because we're also seeing a major shift in Europe's energy landscape as they look to reduce dependency on Russian gas. How is Israel emerging as a key energy hub in the Mediterranean, and what role is it playing in Europe's search for alternatives?
If we want to take gas from here to other countries, like not in the region, we need to liquefy the gas. For that, we need complex infrastructure, and we can build it offshore or onshore. In Israel, we can't really do it onshore because we have a small shore. Yeah. But in Egypt, there is 2 liquefaction plants, huge one, that are not really working most of the time because most of the gas that goes to Israel is for the domestic market consumption. Yeah. But one of the options to take gas from the region outside is through this liquefaction plant. So it can go to Europe, it can go to Asia, it can go everywhere. When it's liquefied, you put it on a ship and then you ship it wherever you want. So I believe that also export natural gas out of the region needs to be through cooperation with other countries in the region. And someone told me in the past, together we are stronger. And when we talk about energy, is really like that. When you take infrastructure together with your neighbors and maximize the benefits of them to the region, to the people of the region, so
it goes beyond peace talks or cold peace talks as we have for as you mentioned with Egypt and Jordan. This is really, we're becoming dependent on one another, and really we can't, I mean, it sounds corny, but we can't live without the other. We're dependent, and we that's where energy really becomes a tool of diplomacy.
Yeah, and I'm not a politician, so I can't talk about, peace it's a huge word, and of course everybody wants peace, but I look here on this reality, to the eye of this reality, and see how things work and how things can work better in the future. And in energy, because it's massive infrastructure, a lot of money involved, it's very logical to make this development together. And also today there is the EMGF, East Mediterranean Gas Forum, which was established 2009, I think. And it's
which includes Israel, Cyprus, I believe.
Israel, Cyprus, Greece, Italy, Jordan. Also the Palestinian Authority somehow in this forum, but it's the first regional forum with those countries, and Israel have a key role in this forum.
And it really puts Israel as sort of the bridge between, as you said, Europe and the Middle East.
Yes, exactly. And because we have here much more potential, we have a lot of potential to find much more gas. So when we look about all this situation and also show it to companies in the world, it's something that they want to be involved with. When I look about energy in the region, I'm very optimistic.
Amir Foster, thank you very much for joining us today and shedding light on how energy is not just a commodity, but it's a geopolitical tool that can really shape the future of the region. Thank you.
Thank you.